These are just some of the mistakes that I've seen students make when they're analysing their questionnaire data. The first one is students try to use the summary data that's given to them, but what you actually want is the raw data. What I mean by summary data is in Qualtrics, it does these lovely bar graphs and tables of each question. That's not the data that you want to analyse in SPSS. And in Google Forms, you have the same thing. It gives you these with nice pie charts and things. That's not useful for you. The other thing you need to remember is I call it the SPSS rule. This is where you've got to have one person per row. So if we look at SPSS, we've got 15 people here, each on their own row. Now that rule's especially important if you then go back and collect more data from the same set of people. That data needs to be on the same row as the first set of data you collected, so there's one person per row. When it comes to chi-squared, I quite often encounter people who are trying to do a chi-squared for a question where respondents could pick several answers. And what I mean by that is if we look at this question in the salary survey, why would you ask for a pay rise? And it says tick all that apply. So that means that people can tick this one and then that one. And that's a problem when you come to do chi-squared. Chi-squared is an assumption of what we call mutual exclusivity. That means that each of the categories are mutually exclusive, so someone can't fall into both categories. The way around that is to treat each of the options in a separate analysis. So in the salary study, you would do an analysis on this option, good job, an analysis on this one, and so on and so forth. Be careful when it comes to coding in missing data. Ensure that it's missing rather than a zero. So a salary question is a good example of that. Some people might answer that they earn nothing, which would be £0. Other people won't answer that question, and you want to code that up either using -99 or maybe just leaving it blank. And then make sure you understand how SPSS is treating the missing values, whether it's including them in the analysis or not. It does various things depending on the analysis you're doing. It's a good idea if you know roughly how big your sample size is, and then you can keep an eye on it when you do your analyses. My final tip is to make a plan of the analyses you're going to do, and ideally make that plan even before you collect the data. I've seen some students actually write out the analyses that they're going to do, so the test they're going to use, and then which variables they're going to put into that test, and what questions they're going to get those variables from. That saves you a lot of tears at the end when you have all this data and you don't know what to do with it.